Good morning. Welcome to the worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Hobart, where we strive to put love at the center of how we show up in the world. So each week, during our Sunday morning worship services, we join together in affirming that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, service is its prayer, and this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Since not everyone can attend in person, we are streaming this worship service online, and we extend a special welcome to all of those who are joining us virtually. The joys and sorrows portion of our service, however, is private, and we will temporarily pause the stream for that. Other than that, this worship service is being recorded and will be available for future viewing on our website. This morning, we'll be hearing from David Hayes, Amanda Tomczak, and Keri, three folks from our congregation. Please turn off and silence your devices. As you do so, allow yourself to enter sacred time together and take a breath. And another. And join us in the spirit of reverence. The invitation is from number 434. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. It suggests the transformations that take place when we are held within religious community. When we light the chalice in worship, we illuminate a world that we feel called upon to serve with love and a sense of justice. Please join me in lighting our chalice by reading together the words on the screen and in your order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
So as a religious movement, a faith that gathers together around covenant rather than creed, I will lead us in a recovenanting process where we take a few lines of our covenant and come back into covenant with each other. And so this involves just saying those lines, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. And the more we do this, the more it can just feel like breathing of, oh, yep, I didn't quite hit the mark. I'm going to come back to it. As hopefully we all set our aspirations a little bit higher than what we're able to reliably do. And in that way, stretch and grow together. So for all the ways that we have neglected to consider our thoughts before speaking, communicate in a clear and positive manner, and to pause before acting, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. For all the ways that we have neglected to speak directly to those concerned with an issue, offer and receive appropriate criticism and praise, and provide timely, specific, and clear feedback. May we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. And for all the ways that we have not been appropriately supportive of others without taking sides, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. And so having recovenanted with each other, I invite you to just look around the space of these beautiful people, their faces, their presence, maybe give them a wave or a smile, the folks on the other side of the camera who are joining us online. And then I invite you to open your gray hymnals to hymn 301, Rise, and join in song. That's been inside of you that might be spoken aloud. And when I do that, I would just invite you to share your name with us so that we know who you are. Yeah. Please be seated and open your gray hymnals to reading 567. 567 at the back of your hymnals.
You read the words in blue or in italics. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who stand in the line and haul in their places, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn, are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. The story this morning is Amelia and Her Super Magical Powers by Gail Svar. This is the story of a young girl named Amelia. Amelia was fascinated by tales of people with superpowers like Wonder Woman or magic like Harry Potter. She yearned to have powers like that so she could help people, like the boy she often saw sitting all alone at lunch, looking very sad. If I had magic powers, I could make him smile, she said to herself. Or like the little kids who were being picked on in the schoolyard by an older girl. Ooh, superpowers would straighten her out fast, she said. And whenever she walked past the old rundown park near her house, she imagined how magic powers could fix it up so kids had a place to play. One night, just as Amelia was about to fall asleep, a fairy godmother came into her room. Well, hello, Amelia, she said. I'm here to help you. What have you been wishing for? Oh, said Amelia, please give me some super magic powers so I can make a difference. Well, said the fairy godmother, I'm happy to give you some magic. Amelia, but oh, thank you, cried Amelia, and with that she fell right to sleep. The next morning, when Amelia woke up, she remembered what had happened the night before. She jumped out of bed, eager to get going and test out her new superpowers. As she walked to school, she realized she'd forgotten to ask what she needed to do to release those powers. You know, say some secret words, give a high sign or something else. But she decided she'd figure it all out as she went along. That day at lunch, she saw that same sad boy sitting by himself at lunch again. Let's try my magic, she said. So she wiggled her fingers at him from a distance. Nothing. Maybe I need to be closer, she thought. So she walked closer to him and he looked up at her. She couldn't help but give him a friendly smile, and when she did, his face beamed with his own huge smile. Ha! Thought Amelia. I really do have magic. Can I join you for lunch? She asked. Sure, he said, smiling even bigger. The two of them laughed and talked all during lunchtime. She learned his name was Bobby. He'd lost his father earlier in the year, and he and his mother had moved here after that. He didn't know anyone and was too shy to go up to kids and talk. Well, Amelia and Bobby became good friends, and Bobby smiled a lot from then on. One day soon after that, Amelia and Bobby were in the playground when they saw Karen bullying two younger kids by the swings. She'd read What to Do About Bullies, but she had never tried any of it before because she wasn't really sure she could do it. But now with her superpowers, she was ready. Come on, Bobby, let's go help those kids. So they walked up to where Karen stood over the two children, and Amelia wiggled her fingers and said loudly, Karen, stop it right now. Come on, Dodie and Lou. Come with Bobby and me. You're safe with us. After the four of them had left, Amelia told the two, if she bothers you again, just turn around and walk away. Act like you don't hear her. Don't show any emotion. And if she keeps on trying to hurt you, let Mr. Crenshaw in the office know. I'll go with you if you need me to. They did just as Amelia said, and Karen never bothered those kids again. Well, by now, Amelia was feeling pretty good about her super magic powers. How can I use them to fix up our old park, she wondered. Wiggling her fingers didn't work. She still didn't know any magic words. Maybe if I start working to clean it up, something will occur to me. And so she did. She took trash bags to the park and started picking up trash that had been left there. Before long, a couple of friends came by and asked what she was doing. I'm fixing our park so we can play in it again. That sounded like a great idea to her friends, and they began to help. Soon other kids joined them. They picked up trash, pulled weeds, and cleared out dead brush. Little by little, the park began to look better. When some of the parents saw the improvement, they decided to help. Some mowed the grass, others built picnic tables, and still others convinced the city to buy some new equipment. It was hard work, and it took many, many days, but they got their new park. When it was all done, the whole neighborhood had a picnic in their new park to celebrate it. After the picnic, Amelia fell exhausted into bed. She was just about asleep when the fairy godmother came back. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, said Amelia. I want to thank you for giving me all those magic superpowers. Oh, but I tried to tell you my wand was broken. I didn't give you any, said the fairy godmother. You must have given me some powers, protested Amelia. How else could I have made Bobby happy, stopped a bully, and given our neighborhood a wonderful park? Fairy Godmother just smiled. My dear, you did that because you possess 3 powers that you developed yourself: kindness, bravery, and determination. With those 3 things, you are making a difference. And with that, Amelia fell asleep.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn 124, Be That Guide. Please be seated. So the tricky thing about being tomorrow's pioneer is that oftentimes the impulse is, I'm going to do that with all the super magical powers. But the title of the series that we're in is Our True Shape. And so the idea there is to find what is actually the powers that we already have, that we've already been cultivating over the years. And so we had a congregational retreat, back in October, and we started with just talking about who we are already, and then from there built in some goals that we're reaching for. And so I invited 3 folks to speak with us this morning about their experience of the retreat and their take on a little bit of that goals process. And so initially I'd like to invite David up to be the first person to share.
Little nervous. All right. If there's an anthem of the year for me, it's probably Every Age by Jose Gonzalez. While I won't be singing from the pulpit today, I do want to share with you the last 3 verses. They go, feels so clear, feels so obvious to each one on their own, but we're here together, reaping what time and what we have sown. We don't choose where we're born. We don't choose in what pocket or form, but we can learn to know ourselves on this globe in the void. Take this mind, take this pen, take this dream of a better land, take your time, build a home, build a place where we all can belong. I'm starting here because this has been the orientation in many of the new things I've taken up this year. But I also share it because it speaks clearly to me as both the purpose and practical application of this in every Unitarian Universalist congregation to build beloved community in the world. When I arrived at the congregational workshop / retreat / goal-setting exercise in October, I didn't really know what to expect. Since I've only been attending our church here for about 15 months, I didn't even know whether this type of event was common here. So I asked Pete O'Day, and he conveyed to me that it seemed pretty novel to him as well. The retreat produced 5 congregational goals, and I signed up to help with 2 of them. First, the creation of a new member orienting and mentorship program, and second, the work to develop a more robust lay-led worship. I will also briefly apologize for the awkward name of the Give-Get Fair, which was another one of those goals. I'm kind of responsible for that name of what others may call simply a mutual aid fair or perhaps even a swap meet. I think this endeavor could be valuable for both the broader Northwest Indiana community and also the congregation. I'm sure some of us are lawnless and hungry for some hard work in the dirt, or overwhelmed by the bounty of our garden and unsure what to do with all of these zucchinis. Others have a lot of old things to sort through or a badly tended corner of a yard. I believe all of these problems, seen rightly, contain a possibility for both deeper connection and significant mutual benefit. All of that said, I do not excel at coordination of complex events. So while I initially proposed the idea and gave it its awkward name, I wish that those who are excited for such an idea much success in carrying it out. And I begrudge no one if the event evolves from its current form or takes on a whole new name. But that idea, as well as the lay-led worship and the mentorship program, speak to me about this work my soul cries out for, to build a home, build a place where we all can belong. The promise of both Unitarian Universalism and this particular congregation that we call Funwe in our house is that we can each contribute some piece of what it means to be and belong in this corner of the world. Sermons from this pulpit have been some of the most valued parts of my spiritual life since we started attending this church. In my engagement in the lay-led worship group is coming largely in the hopes that we can retain some spiritual depth in what is spoken about from up here in the latter part of next year. I am continually impressed and enriched by sermons which demonstrate an easy familiarity with complex and theological concepts while also connecting with the practical day-to-day lives we lead. I hope the work of the team to facilitate lay-led worship, of which I'm proudly a member, will come up with some ideas and guiding documents to help any member of our community speak honestly, clearly, and from what is deepest within them from our pulpit. And I honestly hope that those sermons feed our common hunger for what Tony last week called that warm feeling in your heart as you leave a church service. Coming to my second place of engagement, a mentorship program for new members. I was recently new in this church. Both my wife and I arrived with a whole bundle of fears and preconceptions, both about what we'd get from attending our first services here at Funwe, and also what we hoped to get. I think some of our patterns in those early days of attending, especially rushing off as soon as the service ended, might have gotten in the way of us joining such a mentorship program for new members. But I do think it'd have been good for me and answered some of the questions that I found myself only gradually answering over the weeks and months of attending this church. I'm excited to make this church even more friendly and welcoming to newcomers than we've found it so far. Also on my mind as I consider this direction is some of the challenges Pastor Tom has discussed in the first few weeks of the series. How do we make sure our community is welcoming, not just to people who think and live and look like those already here, but truly to all? What resources will keep new visitors engaging in our community, learning the existing processes, and not overwhelmed by all the groups, ideas, structures, traditions, and processes they aren't familiar with already? How can we help new visitors teach us about different visions, structures, processes that could help us, both old and new, in the pursuit of spiritual growth? How can each party in a mentoring pair, if that is the right structure, come away challenged and helped to better know themselves on this globe in the void? I'm excited for our shared endeavors. I feel confident that working within this beloved community to strengthen and enrich it. Wow, I'm gonna cry. Is an important part of my personal spiritual journey. And I value the warmth and engagement that all of you bring to that work of beloved community as well. May our collective efforts bear bountiful fruit. Thank you.
you so much, David. And I'll invite Amanda up to speak second.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. Thank you, David, for starting us off, because I'm nervous too. It's much easier to read a story that I did not write. So thank you for your vulnerability and courage. That makes it easier for me. So I've been coming to this church off and on for the last few years, more on for the last year or so, and I'm currently completing the church orientation. Today, I would like to explore the second goal from the retreat, the Congregational Mentor Program for new members, along with 2 of our 7 principles. Principle 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and Principle 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And there were a few things that came up for me at the retreat, and to be honest, I'm not even quite sure how to hold these concepts and principles along with some of my beliefs and feelings at the same time. So, Pastor Tom suggested I give an example in the form of a story. Shocking, I know. Thank you for the laughter. So, I would like to share about the day I attended the church rummage sale this year. Some of you know this story because you were there, and it came up after church at a discussion one day a month or 2 ago. So, a woman came into the rummage sale who doesn't normally attend our church. And before leaving, she stopped at the church checkout table, and this happened to be right as I was walking in to the rummage sale to snag some good deals. And the moment I walked in, she was at the checkout, and she said something along the lines of, "I just have to say something." And then proceeded with some agitation to ask a question. And she then said, "Why do you have a Black Lives Matter sign? All lives matter." To which I already knew my rummaging was off to a less than amicable start. Now, what happened next surprised me again. About 4 or 5 congregants chimed in, also with agitation and a good amount of volume to respond to her question. The noise and volume level at that point of about 5 to 6 people became a small cacophony of voices, which also included the woman who posed the question and the statement in the first place. And then, while the mini cacophony continued, and without any intelligible ending, she scooted out the door. And to be honest, I felt disheartened. I think we lost a very valuable opportunity. And when we talked about it after a service in the discussion some weeks ago, it seemed that others shared this sentiment that maybe we could have handled the situation differently. I don't believe that the woman left with any understanding of why we actually do in fact have a Black Lives Matter flag. I also felt she would not be returning to our church, and that her impression of us was probably justifying a false narrative she already had. I use this example not to cast blame or shame onto any of the parties present, but rather to pose some questions. If one of our principles is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, did we deny that woman her search? And did we see the inherent worth and dignity in her once she asked a difficult and agitated question. I don't think we allowed her the space to go on her journey. I think maybe we wanted to control the journey. So, in regards to mentoring newcomers in the church, how can we allow people to come into our church with their own views, potentially oppositional, differing and challenging views, and allow them the space to come to their own conclusions in their own time? If we say we have these principles, we must adhere to them. And I think that's what Tom means about a common goal. Does the common goal or the common principles mean more to us than our differences in personalities? How do we wish to reach newcomers and change lives if we don't allow space for the messy, time-consuming trial and error of change itself? And that is what I think our mentor program should foster. The ability and the safety to ask the messy questions and go on the hard journey. So I'll leave you all with another question. How can we mentor newcomers going forward, adhering to these principles, while still maintaining our sense of self? I don't have all the answers, clearly. But maybe allowing the questions to be posed is an answer in itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. I'll invite Keri up to be our third speaker.
Good morning. My name is Keri, and I'd like to share with you my experience of being part of the recent congregational retreat. When I was practicing this at home, I kept saying congressional. I wonder why. We met on a Saturday morning to share in the process of setting goals for the future of our church. Our facilitator reminded us that our society has evolved from going to church out of routine to people looking for a place where they feel like they belong. So we asked ourselves who we are and who we want to be, both inside of our church and outside to the larger community. Our facilitator gave us a launching prompt. In 2049, First UU will be ... Our group finished that prompt with an oasis for human connection. Our table talked a lot about loneliness and how isolation can even affect a person's health. I wrote in my notes, we pride ourselves in being a welcoming space for anyone who is looking for a place to connect with other curious people. Our group came up with numerous activities and programs that we thought aligned with that statement. We worked together with the people at our table and then shared our thoughts with the larger group. After several rounds of small group discussion and reporting back, the retreat members voted on 5 goals that we will focus on in the coming year. Of those goals, I am most attached to number 2, which states that we will form a congregational mentor program for new members and visitors. You see, it wasn't very long ago that I was one of those visitors. It's only been about a year since I was looking for a place where I felt I belonged, not just fit in. Like so many of us here today, I spent a lot of time in life bending myself into a pretzel trying to fit in. And honestly, I didn't realize that there was a difference between fitting in and belonging. The author Brené Brown says, fitting in is one of the greatest barriers to belonging. Fitting in is about assessing a situation and becoming who you need to be in order to be accepted. Belonging, on the other hand, doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. I'm loud and chatty when I'm comfortable, but painfully shy when I'm uncomfortable. And meeting new people makes me very uncomfortable. When I first walked in the back door of this church by myself, I was greeted with a big "good morning" by a sweet pink-haired lady. Then another lady came up to me, also wearing a big smile. She introduced herself and showed me to the door leading to the sanctuary. Before I left, I wrote my name and address on a clipboard. I couldn't believe it when I got a pretty card in the mail a few days later, telling me how nice it was to meet me. A few Sundays later, I was given this red folder with information about Unitarian Universalism and heard Duncan give a sermon on what home is. I felt welcome. I was so lost when I came here, and I know for sure that if someone hadn't spoken to me first, I never would have come back. Thanks to Roz and Barb, I'm here today, speaking as a member of this lovely church and sharing with you the process of generating goals for the future. From my perspective, this church has been one of the most welcoming places I've ever been, and formalizing how new members and visitors are addressed can only make us better. Thank you.
Thank you, Keri. I'll invite folks into a moment of some meditation just on what you heard from these three different voices in the congregation. Just noticing what is sifting out in your own heart. Where did you feel touched or curious or inspired or troubled or motivated or inclined to pour your own energy in? Put your own shoulder to the wheel. To be part of nurturing this congregation into taking more of its true shape. Not trying to take on any superpowers, but just bringing what we've already been cultivating into an even greater flourishing than it already is. Whatever it is, whatever that piece is, or maybe multiple pieces that you're carrying from what folks have shared this morning, hold on to that for the treasure that it is that you carry within you. It is completely unique. It's different from the treasure that anybody else in this room is carrying from what they heard. Those are the beautiful pearls with which we can create some amazing jewelry together. I'll welcome you back from the meditation as Jeremy comes up here and has an additional invitation for you.
Hey everyone, it's good to see you guys. It's been a minute. So no one developed any superpowers while I've been gone or anything? No? Okay. Well, not all heroes wear capes, and so we like to, what we can do is we can share the resources that we have with the community. This month we're sharing our loose change for social change with Hearts in Motion. Through December 15th, we'll be collecting to help Hearts in Motion to provide a better Christmas for abused women and their children. So the money in the baskets are going to go to sustaining the mission of our congregation, while the money in the cups are going to go to that Hearts in Motion. For those not with us in person today, there's an online link for both one-time and regular donations. Can I get 4 volunteers to help out with the baskets and the cups today? For your prayers, your presence, your service, and your gifts, we are truly grateful. So we've got some announcements here. The Hobart Community Band Holiday Concert is today at 3 p.m. at the Hobart Middle School. If you have any questions, please see Dick Hagelberg. We will be having a one-man Christmas Carol fundraiser on Sunday, December 22nd, featuring Grant Fitch. Doors open at 5 p.m. for appetizers and cash bar. Show will be at 6 p.m. Tickets are $25 at the door. Bring your friends and family to this fun holiday event. There is a link on the church's Facebook page to RSVP. Please do so or let Ashley know if you are coming so that we can get a head count for food and drink. During coffee hour, Mary Ann will be asking for RSVPs. Angel Tree gifts are due next Sunday, the 15th, unwrapped with receipts. The family is also expecting a newborn at Christmas time. So newborn gifts will be welcome as well. No need to sign up for those. Faith in Action is partnering with Pastor Leah's Hobart Methodist Church for a lasagna baking blitz on Sunday, January 4th, to deliver lasagnas to families in Hobart in need. If you would like to sign up to help assemble and bake lasagnas and deliver one to a Hobart family, let Michelle know. Faith in Action is hosting a last-minute movie night tonight. We invite you to see the movie Bonhoeffer. I think I said that right. Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer. Okay, sorry, thank you. See the movie Bonhoeffer before it leaves theaters. It's a movie about a German Lutheran pastor who joins a plot to assassinate Hitler, risking his faith and his life to save Jews from genocide. The movie is at Cherville AMC 12 at 4:30 today, and we will meet at Fuzzy Line Brewery after the movie to discuss. Yeah, you have to discuss the movie afterwards. You have to. Faith in Action invites everyone to an outing in Gary on Sunday, December 15th. Miller Beach Arts is hosting artists in the community for an exhibit entitled Illuminated. The artist talk is at 2 p.m. on the 15th. The event is free and open to the public. Please contact Michelle or Pete if you would like to attend or carpool. And one last thing, any old UU World magazines, we're taking up a collection of those. If you have them sitting around, bring them in. We're going to collect them on the visitors table, and we're going to use them for visitor packets. And then, are there any other announcements that missed? No? Okay, great. All right. Now, please rise in body or spirit to join in singing hymn 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Please be seated. So the closing words are number 693 by V. Emil Gunmanson. And now, may we have faith in life to do wise planting, that the generations to come may reap even more abundantly than we. May we be bold in bringing to fruition the golden dreams of human kinship and justice. This we ask, that the fields of promise become fields of reality. To accompany our extinguishing of the chalice. May we continue to carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again. All right, and everyone feel free to join us in the hall.